morning, guys. I hope everybody is having a great day. Here we are. I figure we'll do a little morning check-in today. It's Thursday. But whenever you're coming across this reading is when it's for you, as always. Let's give it a little shuffle here. Thank you, Spirit. This reading is open. I feel peaceful today. I've been trying to work on expressing myself with my words better without trying to come across like defensive or that I'm like, you know. But that's part of me that I feel like I'm coming across sometimes harsher than I am, I think. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. I always want to like recoil and be like, but I don't want to like, I don't want you to be mad at me. Like, but sometimes saying how you feel, you're like, you have to. Alright, let's see what's going on today for collective. Oh, it's getting hot. I can feel it. I'm going to put the AC on for my daughter. Thank you. We have the Emperor. This is going to be kind of like the overall gist of what we're getting into today for the first few cards, I think. Let's just see what comes out. Tell me what my collective needs to know today. What is it about this Emperor that's coming up? Thank you. Five of Swords. There's 5 of air in this deck, but that's what it's indicative of. Let's get one more. Okay, one more, please. So far with the Emperor and this 5 of air, I feel like King of Water and the Moon, which is both water. So it's the moon's very dreamy. King of Water. You know, in control of your emotions, a leader, but also very loving and giving and things of that sort. Emotional maturity. Now, being the King of Water and the Moon both being water, this could be, you know, having to do with someone a water sign. It seems like this seems like, what I'm getting at first is somebody in their, emperor energy, taking care of business. You've been through it, win at all costs. You've been through like bittersweet victories that you've had to go through to get what you need, what you want, move forward in your career, move forward in life, etc. But somewhere underneath it all is starting to be in light, like come to light to you, that you're kind of wanting to let down that armor a little bit. You feel like you kind of want to just float along a little in your more emotional side, I think. We'll see what happens. Bottom of the deck is Page of Water, so that would be Page of Cups. So yeah, that could be, sometimes that can be a surprise love offer. Maybe this could even be someone younger than you in your life that's come along, that's just kind of or someone who's childlike almost, who's come along and kind of made you look at things in a different perspective. And like want some of that feeling again, because I feel like you used to kind of be like the same, this, it also can be a nod to paying attention to that little intuition. So the moon's kind of like shining light on something. The full moon is tonight too, so that's interesting. So this could be all coming about because of the full moon's energy. Things are being brought to light that you didn't notice before, maybe. You have a little intuition coming in too. So whatever little nods you might be getting about whatever this is, pay attention. I think that's saying too. Yeah. I think you're feeling, I don't know, you're just feeling like you're not in the right skin anymore, in a way. Like you don't need to do the things you once did to survive. Like you've leveled up in a way. Like it's not working. You have to recalibrate the way you go about things, I think. But I think this is just the beginning thoughts of it. Like you may just be thinking of it. Or like, why do I feel like restless? Oh, it must be a full moon. Mm-hmm. It is. I miss my mom. There's so many things I wish I could tell her and talk to her about. There's a lot of things I'm glad she's not here to see. But, man, there's so many times I want to call her. She passed away 15 years ago, and I still want to call her. No one quite loved me the way she did. And my dad. That's very fortunate. Alright, Spirit, let's get a little bit more of the story. What's going on with my collective here? Oh, thank you. Knight of Wands, the Lovers, and the Page of Wands. Yeah, this is like a spark of something and the decision to take action on it. Queen of Swords. Let's see. Okay, I think, you know, the spark of all of a sudden, like, feeling like you need a change or something like that, you know, and making the decision to take action on it. I feel like your intellectual side is like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's think about this for a second, and like kind of making you, because then we have the Hangman, Ten of Wands, and the Emperor. The Hangman, I feel like it's like, hold on, let's take a look at all of this for a minute and see what's going on. Because again, as the Emperor, I feel like you're like established. I don't want to say this is like a midlife crisis, but it's like all of a sudden, like this shift, and you're like you're missing something. And with the Ten of Wands, I feel like, you know, again, your intellectual side is like, this is going to be, like, heavy to carry. We're already in our Emperor, like, status. We don't need to go messing things up. What's going on? Yeah. You know, maybe the Queen of Swords is also somebody around you, like, trying to give you, like, that advice. Like, hold on a minute, what are you even saying right now? Yeah, you're like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna, like, I don't know, RV across country, what do you think? And you're like, I'm sorry, what? You're like, yeah, I can run the business from the RV. All I need is a laptop and some Wi-Fi. I don't know if that's necessarily it, but with the emotional side coming through and then the passion coming in, it's kind of like, that's a bad decision combination. For sure. Okay. Bottom of the deck is Justice. Maybe it's, okay, you can do some of these things. But just find, like, the balance. Yeah. Just got a little more of the story. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. King of Cups. Three of Swords. Maybe you've never allowed yourself to be in your King of Cups energy for perceived heartache. You know, and now you kind of realize and you have everything else, but you don't, have that love feeling, you know? But not the way you want. Like you're realizing it's not something, like, it's not fulfilling your emotional, like, passionate side, in your life. Again, maybe you're just tired of being, like, stoic in a way. Alright, tell me a little bit about the Emperor and the Five of Air, King of Water line, please, Spirit. It's funny when they like, whoop, come out and then go back. I'm like, what the heck? They're like, oh no, that one. Two of Swords. So yeah, kind of like in your head, trying to find your peace and balance and thinking over some options. It seems like you're kind of keeping it to yourself. Yeah. And that Ace of Swords is, gift of enlightenment, new information, truth and clarity coming through. And finally, the King of Water and the Moon, please. What is this? Clarity. I think you're realizing how people kind of look at you. I think people look at you in a like intimidating way, and you're like, oh. I think you're kind of just realizing this. You know, you're probably just like intelligent and direct and like think about things before you answer. People take you as like standoffish. I think that's what I'm kind of getting. And you're like, all right, so how do I get more in this King of Water vibe? Yeah, and you have like this passion to take action on it. What this is all about? What's the Knight of Wands, Lovers, and the Page of Wands, please? Hangman. So yeah, you're looking at things from a different perspective, and you're like, I need to take action on some type of joy, I think, in my life, and not so much this is how, by the book, and this is how it has to be, and this is how it's supposed to be, and living in this box that people have put you in. But you're the Queen of Swords energy that's like, wait a minute, hold on, trying to make some mind over heart decisions, which coincides with the Lovers as well. Let's see. Yeah, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Swords is again a bittersweet victory, win at all costs. So again, I feel like this is your like intellectual side that's kind of like stepping in, like, hold on, we need to continue to win at all costs, because that's what you're thinking about up here. All those bittersweet victories and time you put in and everything. And I think that's what this is leading to too. Look at all the sacrifices you've put in to get to where you are, and you're like, what the hell? I didn't do all this for nothing. Or again, maybe this is somebody in your life like, wait a minute, what are you even talking about right now? Alright, tell me about the Hangman, the Ten of Wands, and the Emperor. Seven of Swords, yeah. With the Hangman, the Ten of Wands, the Emperor, and now the Seven of Swords, I feel like you're looking at things from a different perspective, again, also, but with your mind telling you, like, what the hell, and it's gonna be, like, a heavy burden to bear, and you're trying to, like, figure out your strategy. I'm taking this as strategy for this. Yeah, I think as this Emperor, I think like your burdens are becoming too heavy. So you're like, okay, I need to get out of this like mindset or feeling or vibe or situation, and you're like, your exit strategy. You know, you're trying to figure out how you're gonna make this next plan work. What is this next plan? You know, to make you feel not so, I think, rigid. You may have had a spark of like either religion or spirituality come in too, to kind of soften you a little bit. Maybe you were having a little bit of a call or a belief or something that wasn't there before. Tell me a little bit more about this Hangman. And now this Seven of Swords. Celebrations. That's what you want. You want the like community and friendship and celebrations. You don't want to be up on like your high horse. You don't want to be that. You want to kind of have connections, and that's what I feel like. I feel like you feel kind of like removed. And it's because you've had to be this emperor, and you've had to be in your head, and you've had to do everything by the book, and you've had to do all this stuff, and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to live. Tell me a little more about this Queen of Swords. Queen of Wands. I think that's your inner, because it's coming off of a lot of like wands, like this passion that's trying to spark. So I think that's with the Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, and then the Five of Swords in between them, the bittersweet victory, you win at all costs. I think it's both sides of you, like your, you know, rational side and your emotional side, passionate side. It's like, what do I do? And that's why you have this justice, because you need to find the balance. Okay, tell me what is, I'm just gonna take this one. What's some advice? Knight of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, yeah. So this is gonna come in fast. If you just, whatever you decide to focus on, it's gonna come in fast, and it looks like a windfall of abundance. It may not be money, it could be, but it can just be, you know, that's what you're looking for, that family and your community, and that feeling of like home and happiness, not cold and like, you know, removed. What's the possible near future for this? King of Wands. Awesome. Yeah, the King of Wands takes action. And that's a good balance between the King of, between the Emperor and the King of Water. So that means I feel like you're going after your passions, yeah. The Page of Wands. Yep. Yeah. So you, you know, you have that news of that, you know, possibilities that can happen with this passion that you can create and put out into the world, and all this good news, sitting in your King of Wands energy, ready to take action on things, and passionate and jovial, and, you know, King of the people, as long as he's not in reverse. You're working hard on your goals, you're like happily working away at this new endeavor, and yeah, you're feeling generous about it, and you're happy, and you're like with people giving away stuff instead of like, again, I feel like this is almost like a Scrooge type of thing. Like you wake up on Christmas morning like a different person. I feel like something happened. Again, maybe you were enlightened in some way. Someone sparked some new way of you looking at things, and you're tired of your like rigid coldness, and that passion's kind of warming your soul a little bit, and you're wanting to go after a new way of feeling in your life. And I think that happens a lot of times. We don't realize that we're just going along in this monotonous way until we do, you know, and then you're like, oh my god, like the hangman, like you take a step back for a second and you're like, what's going on in my life? Or you come across someone who seems like fresh and new and like, why are you like this? What is wrong with you? Why are you so happy? And you want that. You want that. And you're like, what are they doing? Something along those lines is happening, and you're like, I want to be happy. And you are. It looks like you have like this little hiccup of, it's either you, or it could be an air sign in your life. Not necessarily, but I'm pulling all the could be's, giving you that struggle. Like, I'm stable. Why would I do this? You know, or you know, if it's like somebody in your life, like a spouse or somebody who it's affecting, like, why would you do this? And you're like, well, because, you know, I don't want to be a sword anymore. I want to be a wand. Yeah, bottom of the deck is the Lovers. So this is a life-changing decision, and I feel like with it coming up in this deck, and then at the end of this deck, I think it's confirming that yes, this is the decision that you make in this scenario. This free will, anything can change. I'm not predicting your future. I'm telling you things you're already thinking about. I'm just confirming it. So you're thinking about making changes in your life. You're struggling with making that choice. You know, trying to figure out how to go about it. Like, you really want community. Yeah, you should. I know it's scary to change, especially in times that we're in. If you're like, you know, comfortable, or you feel stable, or, you know, it's taken you a long time to get there. As the emperor, you've worked to get there. When at all costs, you've sacrificed, you know, blood, sweat, and tears to get where you are. And now you're like, and now I want something different. That's life. That's like your evolution. Okay, it's like, yeah, you worked hard, you got here, but now it's time to kind of like relax a little bit. You don't have to fight so hard anymore. Let's get an oracle and see what they say. So anybody out there who's looking that like you feel like you want to change, listen to your intuition. Listen to when that little voice is telling you something doesn't feel right anymore. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You know, you only have control of yourself. You don't have control of anybody else. So, you know, just remember that. And nobody else has control of you either. Alright, Spirit. Wow. What excuses am I making right now? No more waiting. There will never be a good enough time. The time is now. If it's important enough to you, you will find a way. Today, make a decision and do it even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart and you will be led. Listen to your heart. Perfect. Alright guys, this is a pretty quick one for me, which is impressive if I do say so myself. It's Thursday. I'll be doing another video within a couple days, I'm sure. Alright, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. You know, stay positive. Love the people in your life. And just try to be the best version of yourself. Regardless of your past, or regardless of the identity you've created around yourself, you know, regardless if people are receiving or accepting of the new version you've created of yourself, you have to do it for you. How you feel. And you're not going to feel great about every situation every day. Some things will still bother you. You know, I'm not a martyr. But it gets easier to take a step back and not be so emotional about it and be like, well, how do I deal with this? You know, that's what you're trying to go for. That's where you find your peace. When you don't let things control your emotions as easily. Not everything's personal, even though it may feel like it. Even though it may actually be a little bit. It's okay too. That's okay too. None of us are perfect. But as long as you acknowledge it and don't use it as a crutch, like, well, that's just who I am. No. If you realize you have something to work on it. Try your best anyway. Try your best and forget the rest. Alright guys, like and subscribe if you're feeling my vibe, and I'll see you in the next video.